Guys, I'm Robbie Lewis. I'm here in beautiful Northwest Florida in Santa Rosa County, my hometown, and I'm here to showcase it all to you. I was born and raised here. I bounced around for years on active duty, and now I'm back. I'm back as a realtor, and I'm back to show you all the different stuff that Santa Rosa County has to offer. Whether it's the rivers, creeks, parks, hiking trails, nature trails, local businesses, we've got it all here in beautiful Northwest Florida. From the beach to the creeks, let's go explore Northwest Florida. See ya. Hey guys, Robbie Lewis here. Today we're checking out Santa Rosa County. We're going to do a little overview. It's a big expanding area, or big expanding county here in Northwest Florida. A lot of people moving here, a lot of transplants from wherever. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of look at ways to get around, obviously water stuff to do because it's Florida, and then some outdoorsy stuff to do. This will be like a quick general overview, and then later on I'm going to break down some of the more specific things to do as far as nature trails and stuff to do outdoors and all that kind of stuff. So bear with me here for just a second and we'll get going. So boom, this is me. Overview, realtor stuff, phone number, all that kind of stuff. If you got questions or you're interested in moving to the area, you can always hit me up, email or text message, phone call, whatever. Yes, it's a South Carolina phone number. I was stationed there for a little while and that's just what we kept. So moving on. So yeah, this is Florida. Up here in the northwest corner, little red highlighted area just east of Pensacola. That's Santa Rosa County. It was established in February of 1842, and it's the Florida Congressional District 1 if you're looking into the politics side of things. So nope. Yeah, so this is a little zoomed in I guess overview of the county. It's pretty big, so it goes all the way from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to Alabama. Total size is 1,174 square miles with 162 miles of water. That's almost 14% of the county, which is pretty wild. Lots of lakes and rivers and bays and creeks and all that kind of stuff. Total population for the entire county is right at 188,000, with the county seat being in Milton, Florida, kind of centrally located right here in my little blue blob. Yeah, you can see it's pretty big, or pretty, I guess, wide. Quick little history. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, it was founded in February 18th of 1842. To start off the county, everything was centrally located around the bay and the water and the tributaries and all that kind of stuff. In the northern end of the county, turpentine and cattle were the main industries from the beginning, and the logs and turpentine and everything would get floated down the Blackwater River all the way to the port of Baghdad, and it made it one of the busiest ports in the entire world at the time. Now the main industries kind of transitioned to tourism because of the convenient location. So if you look, back a slide, or even here in just a minute, it's really conveniently located to Pensacola, or if you want to go another county over and go down to Destin, there's just all kinds of stuff to do. Right now there's a lot of state and federal employment opportunities within the county, whether it's the state prison, Naval Air Station Whiting Field. A lot of people live down in Navarre and commute over to Herbert Field, so lots of employment opportunities around. It's home to the longest pier in the Gulf of Mexico. It's right at 1,545 feet long. You'll see a picture of it here in just a minute. It's pretty wild. And believe it or not, there's a large Native American population or presence here in Northwest Florida, which is very interesting. So this map is actually from 1839. I thought it was pretty cool how it still showed, Blackwater River and Yellow River, with the bays and everything. So it's pretty elaborate for back in the day. Yep, some quick facts. On the left there, you see Kroll Lake Bridge, or as part of the Kroll Lake, Bear Lake area up in the northern part of the county. This is a suspension bridge. This is up by where I grew up at. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful little hike if you ever get a chance to go up there. The fishing's pretty good. I'm not great at fishing. And then that picture on the right there, that's, like I said, the longest pier into the Gulf of Mexico. So the largest community is Navarre, and that brings in right around 45,000 people. So it's actually pretty big. Holly by the Sea is located down there, and it's the second largest subdivision in the state of Florida, second behind the Villages. The cities, I guess if you could call them that, are Milton and Gulf Breeze. And I kind of look at it in three distinct geographic areas. So you have the south, the central, and then the northern part of the county, which we're going to break those up here in just a second. Yeah, so getting around, like I mentioned earlier, the county's pretty big. It's fairly large. So it's 42 miles from the top all the way down to the Gulf, and then 30 miles, from east to west. And then to drive, let's choose a different color here. Let's go with white. So to drive from J all the way down to Navarre, you're looking at about 40.6 miles, or as a crow flies, or 55 miles by car, and it'll typically take you about an hour and 10 minutes depending on the route you take. The wonderful thing about this area is there's tons of different ways to get around. There's lots of rural, backwoods driving that you can do and really see some of the beautiful landscape that is Northwest Florida. All right, so there's some major highways to get you to where you need to be because it is such a big county. And so right here across the northern, so right now we're in the northern part of the county. You can see a Highway 4 kind of traverses the top of it, from over by Crestview and Baker and everything, all the way across up to Century up here. And then running north to south, you've got Highway 87 north, and that'll drop you down into Milton. You'll kind of cut over on Highway 90 and then come down Highway 87 south, and that'll get you into Navarre. This is Highway 89. This picks up in Point Baker. That'll take you all the way up to J, to Mount Carmel, up to, Alabama. And then on the eastern side of the county, you've got Chumuckla Highway, which is all linked to Woodbine and everything. So, and then you've got all these, crazy small little roads, Spring Hill Road. Or actually, no, sorry. This is Spring Hill Road. Yep, so Spring Hill Road right there. Munson Highway, that'll take you up from Milton all the way up to Highway 4. And there's some more back roads and stuff. It's really, really great drive. If you just want to spend a afternoon just driving around, it's gorgeous, and there's no telling what you're going to find. So this is the central part of the county. This will take you from Allentown down to right around Dickinson City, Choctaw Field on Highway 87 area. So you can see things get pretty busy right here around the Milton area, and then over by Pace. Those are two areas that are really blowing up in the local community. For, again, traveling east to west, you've got Highway 90 here. And that'll take you clear across the county over into Pensacola, and then alternatively you've got Interstate 10 if you need to hop on, and get somewhere quick, whether you're going to Pensacola or over to Crestview. I-10 is the way to go. And then for some smaller roads, like this is your Highway 87 north I mentioned earlier, and this is the cutoff to Point Baker on Highway 89. Yep, you got Woodbine over here. So all this is Quintet. This is an area called 5 Points right here. Used to be called 5 Points. It's a pretty congested area, so I'd watch out for like that eastern side. It's blowing up so fast. Traffic can be kind of a nightmare. And then heading towards the southern end of the county, there's only really one way to get there, and that'll be Highway 87 south. So again, connecting Highway 87 north to Highway 87 south. You've got to take that little jaunt over on Highway 90 right there in Milton. You can hit some mom and pop shops, get you something to eat, that kind of stuff. So, yep. Oh, to get down to Gulf Breeze. Take Avalon right here from Milton. Hit Avalon Boulevard all the way down to the Garcon Point Bridge, which we'll see in the next slide. So, let's take a look at that. Yep. So the Garcon Point Bridge, taking you on down and then across, and I'll dump you out right in front of the Walmart and Lowe's and everything right there in Gulf Breeze. This is Highway 87 south, coming out of East Milton. Let's see, you got 399 that kind of comes around. And then obviously this is Highway 90, or 98, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you live in the area, 98's notorious. Navarre's a busy area. Like I said, I mentioned Holly by the Sea earlier. That's essentially like all of this. And it's getting bigger. And it's blowing up real fast. You've got housing coming up, in this area. There's a big apartment complex coming up right here by Publix. Let's do that in a different color. So yeah, coming up right here by Publix. And if you want to go to the beach, well, there's only really one way to do that unless you got a boat, and that's the Navarre Beach Causeway right there. That'll take you down to that beautiful intercoastal waterway. You can go to Juana's, or you can go across to some of the public beach access, that's kind of over here. Well, not quite that far. Right here. Yep. So, again, we'll deep dive into all of those a little bit later. Yeah, so let's talk about some of the water stuff to do there. So like I mentioned earlier, tons of creeks, rivers, lakes, basins. I mentioned Blackwater River, how it was instrumental to the founding of the area and everything, really putting Milton on the map, or Milltown as it was called back then, and the port of Baghdad and everything on the map. Interestingly enough, I mentioned a Native American presence here in Northwest Florida. So the Choctaw translation for the Blackwater River is water black. So you can see it kind of starts way up here in Alabama and runs all the way down into Blackwater Bay and eventually into the port of Baghdad and everything like I mentioned. So it's 56.6 miles long. It starts in Alabama. It flows about 2 to 3 miles an hour, and it's about 2.5 feet deep. So it's ideal for that, tubing, floating, canoeing, kayaking adventures. So Bob's Canoe, Adventures Unlimited, all those guys, they take great pride in the ability to be able to give people the experience of tubing down, one of these rivers, whether it's Blackwater, Coldwater, Juniper Creek. They really enjoy doing it. They're all great people. So yeah, stop by and check those guys out. So yeah, going back to the water. So Blackwater River coming down this way. I'm not going to get all these, right? And there's tons of little creeks and all that kind of stuff. These are just like the main ones that you can really kind of see. So starting up here at Highway 4, this will be Coldwater. Where does it start? Right there. So Coldwater Creek, and it kind of comes down like that, kind of follows it on down. So the dividing line between Santa Rosa and Escambia County is Escambia River. So even the watershed takes on like these weird little squiggly lines. That's why you can see like all these right here. So all this is essentially Escambia River or swamp associated with Escambia River. So the northern part of the county, like I said, is really, really heavy with Juniper Creek, Blackwater River, Coldwater Creek, all those different bodies of water, and a lot of smaller ones. Wolf Creek, Manning Creek, they're just everywhere. They're all over the place. You can go up here in the horse stables, and there's other little like trunks, and then Bear Lake, Crow Lake, all those guys, are up here in this Highway 4 area. So yeah, let's check out the central part. So Blackwater River coming on down again, feeding into like Marquee Basin, and into Blackwater Bay, and then Escambia, the same thing. So all this is Escambia Bay. Blackwater Bay, whatever you want to call that, up by Carpenter's Park, Baghdad, you know, all that kind of stuff in here. Really, really awesome. And then you've got the Yellow River. Well, all this right here is just swampy. So, actual creek, not drawn to scale, obviously. But yeah, the creek runs through here. Let's see. Yeah. So all of that eventually goes down into the bays. Let's see. Back in the bay. So you can see the Escambia Bay is highlighted there. East Bay, Pensacola Bay. And then Blackwater's kind of up here. Little interesting fact. This was supposed to be a huge hotel, like tourist destination. That's why it's called Dickerson City. It was named after, I don't remember his first name, but obviously his last name was Dickerson, but he built a huge hotel there and ended up burning down. Pretty unfortunate, but it was around the, 1860s, I think. I want to do a deep dive on it later. But yeah, so water-wise, you got the Intercoastal, East Bay, Blackwater Bay. We kind of talked about that, and you got, this little guy back here, and that'll take you almost all the way to Herbert Field, actually. And then this big, beautiful thing is the Gulf. So, yeah, a lot going on water-wise. There's a lot of big bodies of water. Me personally, I am up here and all over Blackwater Bay, Blackwater River, like my go-to spot. It's interesting. I've never seen it, right? Could be a unicorn. Don't know if it really exists. Apparently there's a mermaid mailbox somewhere in this area. Right here. So, good luck trying to find it. I know you gotta have a boat to find it. So, alright, so the other side of Florida. Not everything is water and all that kind of stuff, even though 14% of the county's square mileage is essentially water. It's home to one of the largest state parks in the state of Florida, and that's Blackwater River State Park, coming in at 207,000 acres. And within Blackwater River State Park, you've got the Blackwater River State Forest. Let me go back a couple slides here. Yep, you can kind of see it right here. And that's like the official, but huge swaths of northwest Santa Rosa County are Blackwater River State Forest. And then off to the south, you've got the Gulf Island National Seashore, and that'll run you both along the Gulf, on the Gulf side, the intercoastal side on the north side of the island, and then the south side of the mainland, kind of in between Navarre. We'll get to it here in just a minute. So you can check out beautiful, like, historic downtown Milton here. And then this is up by the Crystal Creek Trail, I think, is where we got that one from. And then Gulf Island National Seashore. So yeah, so lots of hiking, lots of stuff to do outdoors. The weather here is gorgeous. It's year-round is gorgeous. It can get a little hot in the summertime, but it's gorgeous. So you got tons of hiking all over Blackwater River, Blackwater River State Forest. Like I said, Bear Lake and Crow Lake. There's a Jackson Trail. It's part of a huge, huge trail network. We'll kind of get to that later. I'm struggling to find stuff hiking wise that's actually owned by the state and available for everybody to use on the eastern side of the county, but you've got the horse stables and everything kind of in this area where you can go hang out. Again, all part of Blackwater River State Forest. Now I have a link to the Blackwater River State Forest website in the comments. So this is, again, the central part of the county, right around Milton, Whitingfield area. So I've got a video coming out pretty soon about the Hutton Unit. It's a little 6-mile hiking trail in this general area. I'm not real zoomed in, so I'm just giving you general wags here. Just north of Whitingfield, there's a ATV park. Obviously, you've got downtown Milton with all of its awesomeness. You've got Milltown Park in Baghdad. Rails to trails. Let me just throw a quick little blue line for this. So it goes from over by T.R. Jackson School through downtown Milton and kind of goes up and across and around, and then ends up all the way back there by the back gate to Whiting Field. I don't remember how long it is. I think it's like 16 miles or something like that. I'm going to do it again, another in-depth video on that to come. So let's see, down in the south side, so I mentioned Gulf Islands National Seashore, so the Gulf side, right, obviously, on the Gulf, intercoastal side, and then, let's see, right in between Navarre, see, Woodlawn, I think it's right in here, might stop like right here. On the north side, you've got a bunch of hiking trails and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, all of this is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful scenic drive if you wanted to head over from Navarre, take the causeway, take 399 down, and then across the bridge into Pensacola. It's a beautiful, beautiful scenic drive, so check it out. Golf is huge. You got Tiger Point, you've got Hidden Oaks, so 2 golf courses just in the south side of the county alone. That pretty much wraps it up. Welcome to Santa Rosa County. If you've got any questions, you can leave them in the comments. You can send me an email. You can send me a text message. I don't really care, as long as your questions get answered. Hit subscribe if you stayed, 20 minutes in this long. You're kind of committed, so you might as well hit subscribe and keep track of other videos and stuff that I'll be doing in the area. Yeah. Appreciate y'all taking the time to check it out. Welcome to Florida.